The game might be over, but we're just getting started. Welcome to the Todd Fox Post-Game Podcast, your go-to spot for real, unfiltered Angels talk, win or lose, on the Halos in the Infield Network. You never know what's going to happen. Walk-offs, meltdowns, heroics, or straight-up typical Angels disasters. We're breaking it all down. Who stepped up and took home the Golden Stamos, the most prestigious award in baseball? And who embarrassed themselves so badly they're stuck with the dreaded Nacho Night Award? Drop your comments, call in, and sound off. We're reading them all. So like, share, subscribe, and buckle up, because this show pulls no punches. And yes, Anthony Rendon is still a fragile little bitch. Take it away, Todd.
I'm a fox. My name's Todd.
Hey, welcome into another episode of the Halos in the Infield post-game show. I am Todd Fox. How is it going? Happy Mother's Day to all out there who have mothers and can enjoy them still and can reminisce on some of the greatest times of their life coming as they maybe has had times with their mother with, I don't know how to say this, but to, growing up, your mom always being there for you, making sure you're well fed, taking care of you, having those moments with your family. It's something that's priceless and to be cherished over the years. The things she might have told you to get out of trouble, to stay out of trouble, to when you got in trouble, or the things that she told you to inspire you to do the things and heights that you got to today. Always look back at your mom in a fond way, because obviously, like Grillmaster said the other day, you wouldn't be here if you didn't have your mother. So it is what it is. And I miss my mom every day. She's been gone now 8 years. And what I'd give to see her again, because I'm a huge mama's boy, still am, still proud to say that. With that being said, on a Mother's Day where you want to play hard for your mom, whether you grew up playing Little League in front of her or high school football, Pop Warner, whatever, right? You want to show off for your mom and family. Of course, your dad, too. We're not leaving dads out of this. But let's just say, you're playing hard for your mom. The Angels didn't play hard. No, I'm just kidding. They probably did play hard, but they didn't play up to par as they lose and fall to 16-23, helping the Orioles fall just a game behind them, 15-24. Angels fall to 9-10 at home. They were a fun watch last night. I'll tell you that. I know we got on rather late coming home from the game. There was a lot going on. And we were able to have a really good time last night, but then they turn around and give you a performance like this, which there's a lot to talk about in this game and how it got that way. Obviously the Angels had put up a pretty good performance in the first couple innings, and you look like, okay, the Angels would be riding high and getting a few more runs here and obviously put that away. But those are pipe dreams when you think about a team like this. When you think about a team that has now a record, like I said, of 16-23, they are nowhere near a team that should be 500 right now. Will they get there? I don't know. And I don't think so at this point. I'd have to say that this team's destined for 72, 74 wins maybe. So, I'm disappointed because I was hoping for an 81 game win season, but it doesn't appear that that's going to be the case. I hope everyone enjoyed the tickets for today that I gave away. And, I was just hoping that, people could enjoy the overall team as we're only in May. And if this team's going to fall flat on its face, you're hoping it would be around August or September because you want to enjoy the bulk of the season. Obviously, you don't want to have the team fall apart in August and September. You'd like to see them to be competitive. But it just doesn't look like, unless something changes, like we've said night in and night out, and I think we'll say it till until the season's over, there has to be a change from the top down, and we're not going to get the ownership, but there has to be front office decisions being made to change the culture of this team. We keep hearing over and over how great the clubhouse is, and I don't know if that's going to be something that's that's going to pay off, because this whole culture in the locker room being so great, it's got to, attribute some wins. It's got to make some wins, and I don't think it is right now. Passionate Halo fans said they left early and that they hope Mr. Beast buys a team. Look, like I said last night, anybody, and I mean anybody, whether they have experience running a baseball team, which Mr. Beast doesn't at all, and others, I don't care. At this point, you would have to think that whoever is going to spend the kind of money it would take to buy this franchise from the loser that owns it currently is going to learn and catch up very quickly and hire people that know how to run a franchise. So I don't care if you're just someone looking for a pet project to booster their ego. That kind of owner is not going to exist without trying to win because of spending the type of money. Like, this isn't 90s baseball. This isn't early 2000s baseball where the teams were valued at maybe a couple $100 million. A team like the Angels that's worth $2.5 billion thanks to all the TV contracts and all the other stuff that you can do nowadays via the internet. Nobody is going to pay $200 million for a franchise, or you can't even buy maybe you could buy a portion of the Angels, a percentage, but you're not going to be able to afford the exact amount of this team on $200 million. Obviously, the value of every franchise in Major League Baseball has gone through the goddamn roof. So with that being said, we're hoping that someone comes in here with true good intentions for Orange County, not Los Angeles. And will that happen soon? No, because Artie Moreno is nowhere close to signing a team or not signing a team, but selling the team. There's no way this team is going to be sold anytime soon. It's going to go down to when he passes away. So let's get into the Angel game. I just wanted to get that out there. And again, once again, happy Mother's Day to all of you out there that are mothers that have breeded these children and Angels fans and that have breeded the future Angel fans of the day. Like, we brought my grandson out there. He had a great time at the game. But I'm just going to say, shout out to all you moms once again that are there for their families and are there for their kids and doing the very, very underrated things that keep a family together. And don't think that us mama boys out there don't recognize what you do, and we do value it, and we do see what you do when we grow up into the adults that you help us become. So we love you, moms. We love you, and I love my mom to this day. So let's get into the bad stuff of today, which is they had to play on Mother's Day, and the Angels lose today 7-3. Tyler Anderson, if you ever want to look at a loss that would get me, if I'm Tyler Anderson. So let's just say I'm Tyler Anderson, and what's my enough button to press as far as how much can I take as an Angels starting pitcher? Obviously he went through a lot of bumps last year. He gave us really a good 3/4 of a season. I thought that the last quarter of the season, he sort of just went out there and did his job, but he wasn't pitching to the kind of degree that he was before not the All-Star break, the trade deadline, because you knew he wanted out of Anaheim, and it was clear in present day. This guy, you can ask him right now, hey, you like it here in Anaheim? Of course, because he's getting paid, he's going to say yes. But if you ask him as soon as that final pitch is thrown in September, he's going to say, yeah, I'm looking somewhere else. I want to compete somewhere else. And he deserves to. Like when he signed from the Dodgers, I'm like, you know what? I don't really like Dodger trash. And I only call it Dodger trash because it's like giveaways, let goes. And I hate the Dodgers, right? I'm not devaluing what Tyler Anderson has been since he's been here. Obviously, the first year was rough with us, but last year he put together a hell of a season. And this year he's obviously our best pitcher. But what I mean by him pressing the enough button, the I'm tired of this shit button, is like a game like today. Obviously, you're coming in 2-0. You should be 4-0 at this point. You've got no run support. You literally had to win those 2 other games by yourself. And you've been the only consistent pitcher on a bad team that can't hit for crap. And you come out there today, and all you need behind you, if they're not hitting, is just a little bit of defense. And the defense didn't give you anything. Didn't give you anything. I mean, from Taylor Ward's stupid blunder in the first inning to Moncada's blunder on, again, we talked about this in 2 games last year, where there was crucial defensive errors by Renifo at third base and at shortstop, where there was ground balls where you're taught as an infielder to charge the ball, get your glove under the ball, scoop it or whatever you have to do, and make the throw. You never backpedal on a grounder, especially a chopper, because anytime the ball is chopping at the degree and the spin rate that it is coming off the pitcher's hand and off the bat, it's just bound for trouble. It's what they say when that cliche is there. It's the ball's going to eat you up, whether it hits the grass and does a funky bounce or hits worse, the dirt. When it hits a dirt on another bounce, if you're letting it bounce on the dirt, if you're letting it, that's what I'm saying. On the not the launch angle, but the exit velocity on some of these ground balls, if they are hit hard enough and hit the dirt, which I'm not valuing that stupid ass stat. I'm just saying, if it's hit hard enough and it bounces off the dirt before your glove, it's really hard to make a play on that ball because the ball could either not bounce at all or it could take a wicked hop and screw you up. And you have to make a really good scoop if you're lucky. But if you have a chance to get the ball before it hits the dirt or the grass, by all means, you make a move on it. You don't backpedal. The hell is that? So Moncada backpedaled and that ball went behind him. As far as Taylor Ward's error in the first inning, that's just a routine ball that Big Ears can't pick up the satellite, can't see it in the sun. I agree, it's a tough day in the sun, but listen, are you Kyron Paris, Taylor Ward? Are you Joe Adele, Taylor Ward? No, you're Taylor Ward. How long have you been playing in Anaheim Stadium? And correct me if I'm wrong, Taylor Ward. How many times have you played a Sunday getaway game? How many times have you played a midweek getaway game at the Big A? Just how many times have you played a day game in period at Anaheim? Let's not talk about any other stadium you played at. In Anaheim. You should be used to the shadows. You should be used to where the sun's at particular times in the game, especially early. There's no excuse for you losing the ball, bro. No excuse whatsoever. And he didn't just lose it by a little. He lost it by a lot. And that wound up being a triple and a run-scoring play for the Orioles later on. As that was Rauschman who would triple. Henderson would score on the single. Or on the triple, I'm sorry, and it was 1-0. Ward said, okay, I'll make up for it. And this is where I thought, okay, this game might be a little different. Because of that stupid-ass error, you give up the lead early, but then the Angels turned it around just like they did yesterday, scoring 2 in the first. They scored 2 in the bottom of the first. Again, Ward would double down the line. Soler on that bad thigh would make it all the way around from first to score 1-1. Then O'Hoppe would single to center. Ward would score. It's 2-1 Angels. And you're feeling kind of good about yourself. And here's the problem again, where I'm pressing enough is enough button as Tyler Anderson, because he's pitching his ass off. You're putting up zeros, and the Angels after that first inning just put their bats away. I don't understand their logic after that. There was a couple times where they worked walks, okay, but he got man on, and he didn't do nothing about it. You got a couple guys over to base and the base is loaded, and then you weren't able to score them in. It got kind of maddening at times as they were trying to, you could see they were trying to buffer the lead, but they couldn't do it. And then the fifth inning came around. And like I said, you had that ground ball error by Moncada, which would lead to Hadley hitting a sacrifice, scoring a run. Then Mountcastle would single, and now it's 3-2. All three of those runs unearned. The fourth run that would come around later on Laureano scoring from Brogdon and on a walk, that would be earned right there. Actually, no, he had one earned run. I'm sorry, did Tyler Anderson. But the 3 runs counted against him. They were losing, and then they brought in Brogdon in the 6th inning. A leadoff walk to Laureano, who just I don't know. This guy, it feels like Laureano has been playing since Mike Scioscia got the job with the Angels. Because it seemed like every season, this guy does the same thing that he's done his entire career, which is bat 200 or less, and just come in there when he plays the Angels and hits homers, hits doubles, hits singles, robs us of homers, makes diving catches, steals bases. He's just an overall asshole. I'm tired of seeing this guy, but he's always there. He's always there making plays against us. It doesn't matter what team he's at. He just gets it done, and it is what it is. And they scored another run. It was 4-2. Then Hanley would hit a sacrifice, make it 5-2. Then Henderson hits a 2-run shot. And then Lugo homers later in the game to make it 7-3. Another useless solo home run that Halo honks were like, and then you got right here, some people, Purple People Eater says stop going to games. He never got back to me about how long he's been a fan. Passionate Fan says that won't mean much to Artie, sadly. Exactly. Frank says we don't have a leader. Mike Trout is hurt again, and even when he's around, he is not a true leader. That is true. He says hit Artie in the wallet. It doesn't work that way, dude. I explained that to you yesterday. Ticket sales aren't the thing that can hurt the Angels. What can is if you don't spend at the games and if you don't pay for parking and stuff like that. The ticket sales, they're already sold, so that part of it doesn't kill it. And also not watching games. There's a reason why they're trying to get you to spend at the stadiums. It's not all about buying the tickets. Tickets mostly have been sold. The rebuild is painful to watch. El Chico, this is no rebuild. If we had a rebuild, this would be something to understand and be like, okay, we could see the sunshine on the horizon, but you can't because we don't have any kind of plan. The minor leagues have been stripped, and there is no hope at this point. And here's another thing to consider. I hate looking at the standings, but just think about this. The Mariners have lost 3 in a row. Had the Angels won the last 2 games in between yesterday's win, and let's just say the Angels were on a 3-game win streak, they'd be only 4 games back. You're still sitting at 6 games back. Seattle was swept today. So that sucks. I mean, it sucks to look at that because it's not like we're going to win the division, but you'd like for them to keep it close. And there's another opportunity where they could have kept it close. So the Angels lose 7-3. You also had a base running blunder when they were trying to get back in the game or take the lead. I think it was they were down 3-2 or something like that. And they had, Moncada at second. They had Soler at first, and Taylor Ward hits a base hit to right, which again, it was a good throw home, but Soler wasn't paying attention. It might have been a bang play. I'm pretty sure Moncada, after seeing the throw home, would get thrown out at home. As he hasn't been running really that fast lately, so it was the right move for them to stop him at third. Soler kept his head down, didn't pay attention to the base runner ahead of him, and assumed that Moncada was going home, and he was easily thrown out at third as you had 2 men standing at third. That was kind of a buzzkill because then you had Ohapi up, which would have had Ohapi up there with the bases loaded and 1 out. Instead, you had first and third with 1 out, and there was a weak ground ball to end the inning. So a lot of problems here with the Angels tonight. Angel Boy says, did you see Mr. Beast was at the game? Yeah, I was there last night. The place went nuts for that, but there's no way it's going to happen. Adele says, what's it going to take to get the Angels a solid team or a TV deal? It's going to help because right now Artie's not dipping into his wallet to get players because he doesn't have that much money. He's valued at billions, but that's only because the Angels. So he's not going to, and he's going to lose $50 million this year without a TV contract. El Chico says, do you think we trade for younger players? Yeah, I don't think we trade our younger players. I think we trade our veterans to get younger and to help out. But this year's draft is exactly what it is, with the most important draft ever for the Angels. Mario, my friend, it was great talking to you the other night. And I will get into your first comment because I have to give the awards first. So that was a little premature for me right there. But I just wanted to say it was great talking with you yesterday and your family, meeting your family. Happy Mother's Day to your wife. Real quick, we have to play the losing slide because we lost tonight. Takes so much of that song because we have to play it a lot because they suck and they've been losing, And it's just a bunch of wieners in the lineup again because we have to play this song.
Wiener, 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 next to another wiener, 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 two wieners alongside yet another wiener party, wiener party, party soft, wieners nice and soft, non-erect wieners, flopping wieners, flopping wieners, dangle wieners, dangle wieners in my bag.
Stop, please! I can't take any more.
I can't take any more either. So let's talk about who got the John Stamos Player of the Game Award. The John Stamos Player of the Game Award. I hate to say it, but Eflin did the job tonight. No, actually, it was Gunnar Henderson. Gunnar Henderson, 2 hits, 5 RBIs. Or I'm sorry, 2 hits, 1 home run, 2 RBIs. But he did strike out 3 times. But he was a pain in the Angels' ass. I mean, you could give it to Mullins too, but I think the player of the game was Gunnar Henderson. I thought Eflin messed around a lot. 5 innings pitched, 5 hits allowed, 2 runs. He wasn't exactly spectacular. The Angels actually worked 2 walks off of him, which were impressive. Again, I mean, if they were averaging just 2 to 3 walks per game, this offense would be so much better, but they don't do it consistently at all. The Angels had 10 strikeouts tonight. That was pretty pathetic. Again, just 2 walks. Pitching-wise for the Angels, 5 innings pitched by Anderson, 3 runs on 4 hits, only 1 earned, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. And then Brogdon got lit up a bit, 2/3 of an inning, 4 runs on 2 hits allowed. The other Anderson pitched 3 1/3, mopped up 3 strikeouts. He looks pretty decent so far since coming up from the Sean Anderson from the minors today. Now let's talk about who gets the Nacho Night Award for worst player or players on the field.
Nacho Night, oh yeah, Nacho Night. Pile it up, load it high. Extra shame, hold the pride. Grab a fork, take a dive. Dignity's gone, but the cheese survived. Molded cheese, stale chips, what a sight. All your dreams gone tonight. Had a bad night, lost the fight. No more crunch, just take a bite. It's the Nacho Night Award.
The Nacho Night Award is going to go to 2 players tonight. Actually 3. Let's just give it to the entire outfield. Let's give it to Taylor Ward. Yes, I know he had 2 hits and an RBI, but he's still batting 182 at your number 4 spot. He sucks ass. So I'm going to give it to him, number 1, for that air out in the outfield. That's what gets you the nachos tonight. That was pathetic. And then you had Joe Adell having 3 at-bats and 3 strikeouts. Then you had Kyron Paris, 0 for 4 and 3 strikeouts. Both of them looked useless up at the lineup there tonight. Both of them looked like they didn't prepare whatsoever, and they have that uppercut stupid swing, which generated 6 out of the 10 strikeouts. So the other 7 batters in the lineup only generated 4 strikeouts. If you had these 2 guys who would take their heads out their ass for a day, it would be much better. Even if they had 1 strikeout apiece, you'd only have 6 for the team. But when you're wasting outs on strikeouts, you're not going to win many games. And the Angels did it again, double-digit strikeouts once again. So the Angels lose to a team that sucks 7-3. As you see the first 3 games against the pitching staff, let's keep in mind, guys and gals, this isn't the Baltimore Orioles who were leading the league last year with wins and all this other stuff at times and also pitching pretty good. They have the worst bullpen and starting pitching in all of baseball. Yet they win 4-1 on Friday, lose 5-2 on Saturday, and win 7-3. So the Angels mustered powerfully 8 runs in 3 games against the worst pitching staff in all of baseball. Kind of makes you feel worried about when they play the Rockies later on this season because, man, the Rockies are supposedly the worst team in baseball. And speaking of which, Angels related, Bud Black, former Angels pitching coach on the World Series Angels, got fired today as Rockies manager. I would still take him as a pitching coach here today. He is a very smart mind, but he's been dealt bad cards wherever he's been managed, whether it was in San Diego or with the Rockies. So with that being said, Mario leads it off with a spritz o'clock, baby. And again, nice talking to you and your family the other day. That was pretty awesome. It's spritz o'clock.
Spritz o'clock, angels play. Win or lose, we toast today. Sip and cheer, no matter score. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more.
Yes, spritz o'clock. And you need a drink when you watch this team. Jason Hess checks in with hashtag D's nuts because there is a lot of D's nuts.
These nuts. Got him. Got him.
He says, Happy Mother's Day, Todd Fox. Thank you so much right there. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. Tamir 20 says, Brogdon is a bum. DFA his bum ass. Mario says, Angels say, F Mother's Day will lay an egg. Q Lombardi. Lombardi gets mad because he loved his mom too, and he can't believe how the Angels treated theirs.
What the hell's going on out here?
Exactly. Jason Hess says, what an embarrassment to all Angel mothers to lose this way. Jesus says, we're so crap. Jason Hess says, Todd, I have 5 kids. Their mom died 2 years ago in June. Mother's Day is especially hard. I'm so sorry to hear that again, Jason. I know you mentioned that last year, and prayers to your family, but prayers to you too for keeping it real and keeping those kids in line, because it takes a lot for a man in a relationship with a woman to raise kids, let alone without a woman. So hats off to you, my friend, and best of luck as you move forward with a family. Dre Money says, heirs, and more heirs. We are officially the bad news bears. You're here for the crews that just to fuck us. Errol Weaver. Daniel says, yo, also happy Mother's Day, Grill Master, back at you. Let Anderson pitch in the 6th inning, or why didn't you let him pitch in the 6th inning? Hashtag Lombardi.
What the hell's going on out here?
Also, let's see, why didn't Lugo start today? Because we got to keep playing the 2 guys who aren't hitting. Grillmaster says, Kyron Paris is Black Taylor Ward. That's kind of messed up, striking out everywhere with bad offense and defense. The Angels suck says, I wouldn't be surprised if Tyler Anderson checked himself out of the game. Why stay in the game when your team doesn't have your back? He knew regardless we were going to lose today. Also, you have Useless Trucker saying top of the 9th, Anderson versus Mountcastle. Anderson shot put the ball. Show Anderson shot putting the ball. Hilarious clip. I don't have that on me, unfortunately. See, F. Ron Washington, FN Wright, F. Artie Moreno. This game was not it. The season ended today. No. The season started today.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Also, right now, Mario says Clubhouse can't be great if you keep losing, no matter how hard you play and keep losing. It cracks down to growing the Clubhouse. Light that baby up says, what are the chances Ohapi and Neto don't extend? They could be good if you don't offer them a good amount of money right off the bat. Then you got Mr. Beast is going to sign the entire Savannah Bananas. Q, hey, they're dancing down my stairs. Also, EQ says this team is so trash. Yeah, exactly. Botch says Artie's mom is or would not be happy with him at this time. There's no doubt about that. Marty says, we're so back, but we suck. Also, in the Indians manager in the major leagues throwing shit out of the dugout. Yeah, I'm the Indians manager. Exactly. You got to be throwing that all over the place. There needs to be some sort of rally around this team or out of the dugout. How can he have no emotion? Every camera angle on him just sitting there. Cue fart. Yeah, it's Ron Washington. He doesn't show any kind of emotion. Even when they make like the most egregious errors, he's just like, yep. Also, you have comments here that are coming in fast and furious. Dude wears sunglasses and he still can't locate the ball, being Ward. Useless Trucker says, what would Otter in the movie Animal House do to get Artie to sell? I think we have to go all out. I think that is a situation absolutely requires a really futile and stupid gesture. Mario says errors and defensive miscues will happen, but damn, come on, man. We need to keep our composure. And I think he's referencing to this one right here.
Come on, all right, everybody. That's what I'm talking about, guys. We've made a great effort so far. Let's just keep it up.
That's right! We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure! We've come too far! There's too much to lose! We've got to just keep our composure!
Then you got what's the Angels' record on Mother's Day? I'm pretty sure it's ass. I'm pretty sure it is as well. Let's see. We were sitting right there when Ward did miss the ball by a lot. Unbelievable. Useless Trucker says we need the MMA skit, Perry versus Ron. Unfortunately, the skit, somebody gets hurt really bad. Also, Nuggets lost today. That was stupid right there by David Rosca. Also, such a disappointing game. The third base coach is a complete pussy, not for going for the third base run. He stopped him right there. He would have made it home, no doubt. See, you probably had a better angle, but on TV it looked like he was going to get thrown out. Don't forget about Soler. Yeah, I brought that up. Eric Ward says, and fire Perry too. He has failed the organization as well as what he can do to trade the teams and pick up Atlanta trash. Mario says if Laureano played against the Angels every game, he'd be the best player on the planet. Q Lombardi. That guy has just been a thorn in the Angels' side ever since I've seen him play.
What the hell's going on out here?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Also, Baldwin says they don't go if I don't watch. It's my fault. No, it's not. Hashtag says Lugo is gold to see the Angels foul it up and send him down again, probably. Bring on the Padres. Well, I'll be there on Monday. Park at Bruheim and walk to the stadium. Just don't go as and have as many beers as he had. That's right. You were probably lit yesterday for sure. J-Dog says we lost a series to the Orioles. There's a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Also signed Bud Black. And it looks like I'm being called to the bullpen too because we got to do something for Mother's Day. So I've got to leave here soon as I'm getting the text right here, but I'll just read a couple more before we go. I got to text them. I'll be 2 minutes. Let's see. Okay, so we have Tony C saying they need to move on from Ron Washington and the other Washington Angels are a complete mess. They have a lot of talent on the team, but with personal issues. Keep up the good work, Todd. Wash out of here. Halo fan says also Todd looks exhausted of the team as well. At times I am, but I try to push ahead because I want to win. San Diego series is next. Rail fan says not looking good. He says we cooked. We suck again. Hope is fading, Todd. It sure is fading too early. Lee says, hey, Todd, terrible base running blunder. Q Lombardi. Yeah, that was a tough run right there by our boy
What the
Soler.
hell's going on out here?
I think all of us were laughing at that. Joke's on me for believing this season would be any different, JJ says. Eddie Perez says, what is Anderson worth at the deadline? At least two players, one that would be major league ready and one that would be a sort of throw-in. Itchy Boy says, wow, we lost a series to one of the most disappointing and underachieving teams this year. Who could have seen that coming? And that is the problem. Ha ha, they lost again. And no, Grill, when you tell me to read your comments, I will not read your comments, even though I'm reading the comment that says read my comments. So I have to skip through a lot of them right now because, again, I have to leave because we got some Mother's Day going stuff with Steve Elise and her family. So with that being said, this team took too long to lose today. That's why I've got to leave a little early. So I appreciate everybody getting on. I will have someone filling in for me tomorrow because I'll be in San Diego, deep in the heart of Padre country, watching the Angels and the Padres go head-to-head. Hopefully the Angels can pull off a win. But we lost today. Let's move on. Let's try to get another win. Spend time with your family. Love your mother. And enjoy her and give her flowers because there's a lot of us that can't do that physically. We can only do that thinking of them. So with that being said, have a good rest of your Sunday. Short show. I apologize, but we will be on there tomorrow. I'll be in 108 in San Diego, section 108. So with that being said, everybody have a good rest of your afternoon and evening. Happy Mother's Day to all out there.